Alright y'all, welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is JJ and we are back for another In the Hunt. This time we find ourselves in Sugito, Saitama, Japan, and we're going to start things off right away at the display case. So let's have a closer look. Now, before I get too into detail about what we're seeing here, I just want to say that this location was a little bit, I don't want to say bare bones, but it was definitely chill in regard to its inventory, as you can see with the display case, as a matter of fact. But that's not to say that they didn't have their surprises, and we're definitely going to see some of that. And actually the gaming section was fairly large somewhat, so this location will be spread across 2 episodes, as a matter of fact. But anyhow, let's go ahead and focus on what we see on hand here. And as you can see, we have a number of Switch Lite systems. And you know, the yen is currently weak, so some of this pricing could be attractive to a few of you. But anyhow, down below we're gonna see a translucent purple Game Boy Color complete in the box for 8,000 yen. Not too bad of a price there. And then of course we have a DS for 2,000 yen. But clear in the back here, we're gonna have a couple of memory cards for the PlayStation Vita. Definitely feel free to pause if you want a closer look at some of the pricing. Anyhow, please subscribe, really helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and make our way down the game aisle. As you can see there, it's quite large, but I guess we'll start here in the hardware. We have a Wii U for 6,000 complete in the box, next to a Wii complete in the box for 2,500. And as you can see, both of those boxes are in awesome shape. Definitely worth the price that they're asking there. And then of course we're gonna make our way through this little mini display. We got Ancestors Legacy, an RTS game for the Switch there. We have the PlayStation 3 little keyboard in the back, and then we have Rockman Dash for freaking Windows. I had no idea that got a release for the Windows platform, the Windows OS, whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, we have a few handheld games here behind the case. We have that Mega Man and Bass. For the Game Boy Advance, which I had no idea that it got a port. So definitely cool to see that as well. And as you can see here, there are a number of games, but nothing that really, at least for me on a personal level, nothing that really stands out. But we do have a PlayStation 2 Slim for 6,000 yen. This is the 79,000 series. And below that, we have a couple of white PlayStation 3s. We have the fat model and the super slim, and both of them still retain their bright white color, which is definitely cool, as do these Wii systems that are retailing for the same one that was in the box for 2,500. And then of course we have, I believe these are like the Donkey Kong Kongas, and these are manufactured by Namco. And then we have a GT Force Pro for the PlayStation 2. Definitely would like to try that. And then we have the Canva Drone arcade stick for the PS3 and PlayStation 4 for 6,000 yen. Anyhow, we're going to take a look at a few accessories here. And the one that really stood out to me was this one for the Nintendo 3DS, the NFC reader. You know, you can read your amiibos. And this is for the original unit, and this could be an accessory that could become a little bit uncommon or rare later on down the road. And they were selling that for 1,500 yen. And then of course we have a few more controllers. Nothing necessarily that's super special, I want to say. But below that we have a few loose handheld games. Now sometimes, at least for me, there was one at one point, you know, I wouldn't really look through this section just because I wasn't really, you know, I was looking for more stuff that was complete in box. But definitely worth looking through, because one time I did decide to look through it and I found actually a copy of Gunstar Heroes for the Game Boy Advance, and it was only 200 yen. So ever since then I always take a closer look at this section, because sometimes you can find something, a heavy hitter like that. But as you can see here, you know, sometimes it's a hit or miss, and unfortunately I think this time it's a little bit of a miss. Although I'm wondering what this girls mode is for the Nintendo DS at 300 yen. But anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way through the PlayStation 4 and Vita, Switch, and 3DS section. Let's go ahead and start with the PS4. Now this is a system that I kind of overlook just because right now it's fairly easy to, you know, to buy. The games are at an all-time low in most countries, and I don't know, I don't think the Japanese PlayStation 4 has anything that's really exclusive that might be I guess really sought after. I could be wrong, at least for me, from my perspective. I don't really see anything that really stands out for the PlayStation 4. But anyhow, that was going to be it. Unfortunately, they didn't have too many PlayStation 4 games, but we do have PlayStation Vita. Now, this Killzone Mercenary coming in at 1,000 yen. Now, this one the Japanese version does support full English language options. I actually have a copy, and that game looks freaking awesome on the PlayStation Vita. And as you can see, we have more PlayStation Vita games. As always, definitely feel free to pause if you want a closer look at the spines there. And then they had a number of these Minecraft PlayStation Vita edition games, and I believe this is another one that does support full English language options. We have Biohazard Revelations 2 for 2,000 yen, and then we have Gundam Breaker 2 for 500 yen. Not really sure what that game's about, but it could be a nice fun action game. Anyhow, we're gonna make our way down the Switch section, and of course the Switch section is actually quite small. So yeah, like not necessarily a ton of games, and I'm not sure what this is, but it seems to be like some kind of graphic novel by Koei Tecmo, sorry. And it's coming in at 4,500 yen, so definitely not too cheap there. And then as you can see, these are the remainder of Switch games that they had on hand, and we have Pokken Tournament DX, originally released on the Wii U, but the DX version adds a few extras. I'm not really sure what they are, but I remember at the time it did seem like a fun little fighting game for the Wii U and Switch. But anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at a few Nintendo 3DS games. What can I say? You know, they had a bunch of titles that I really had no idea what they were. And the 3DS is a system that I am currently collecting for, but there's nothing really that they didn't have anything on hand that I was looking for, but I still wanted to show off what they did have. And they had this funky game that looks like a little edamame bean that looks like a dog for 500 bucks. I'm not really sure what this game is going for, or what kind of game it is for that, for that matter. But definitely an interesting little cover. I do like the plainness to it. And then we have this Doraemon for 1,000 yen. Still a fairly popular character in Japan, and occasionally he does get a new movie release, but unfortunately I'm not really sure what this game is about. And then we have this Puzzle Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition. Now this is definitely new to me. Had no idea that this existed, and as far as I know, it could be a Japan exclusive. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way down to the next section, and we're going to start things off with PlayStation 3 titles. And I want to say they did have some interesting titles. This one here was also at the Honjo Hardoff, but then they had this Birds of Steel. Definitely interested in playing this game because these little old school war type games, war fighter jet games. Not sure how you would classify those, but they are kind of fun. Recently, I replayed Wing Arms on the Sega Saturn, and that was definitely a great time. We have Ninja Gaiden Sigma. We have Vanquish for 300 yen. That's a super low price. And then we have Devil May Cry here for 500 yen. Now, all three of those games do support full English language options, but I don't really recommend the Ninja Gaiden Sigma because it is censored. You definitely want the North American counterpart. And then we have, of course, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I believe this is the Game of the Year edition, but it only has Japanese menu options, but the voices are in English. And then we have Yakuza of the End. I've been interested in this game for quite some time, but the North American counterpart is definitely far more expensive. And unfortunately, it's probably one of those games that I won't be able to play just because of the pricing. But we have Little Big Planet there, and then we have Rise from Lair. Now, this was an early launch title, and it's one that I kind of just ignored. And one day I'm going to play this because it does seem interesting. I definitely get some Panzer Dragoon and Lord of the Rings vibes from that game. And of course, we have Madden NFL 2011, and then we have Fist of the North Star for 300 yen. Super cheap, that one. And then of course we have Binary Domain. Now this is a gem of a game, freaking awesome. This one does support full English language options, the Japanese edition. Highly recommended, especially if you like your third-person shooters. Great story, great action, freaking can't recommend it enough. And then we have Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm for 300 yen. This one has been ported to a number of more modern consoles, but the PlayStation 3 version definitely still holds up. And it's been years since I played that game, but I remember I had a great time. And then we have Port Royale 3. I have no idea what this is. It's definitely some kind of strategy game, but I do love seeing like these B-side games. I'm probably never gonna play them, but it's great that they're out there being made. And then of course we have the original vanilla Dragon's Dogma with its awesome J-pop intro. And then we have the Blaze Blue Continuum Shift Extend. I'm not really too familiar with this fighting series, but I know that it does have its following and it has some frantic gameplay. And then we have Hyperdimension Neptunia. Recently looked up this game in greater detail, but definitely not for me, as it's a RPG and I just don't have the time to invest. And then of course just the aesthetic doesn't really not something that I'm really vibing with. But anyhow, let's go ahead and check out the Wii, a couple Wii games here. As you can see, it's a little bit bare bones. I'm not sure what this is, but it's, you know, a Bandai game. It could be like a kaiju type game. Definitely looks interesting. And then we have Dragon Quest Swords. I recently picked up a copy of this for 200 yen. And I definitely want to get the North American version so I can, you know, follow the story, because I was having a blast with it. And then we have like another Power Rangers type game. I don't know, 500 yen. Could be interesting. It's also by Bandai. And then of course we have Tetris Party Premium by Hudson for 2,500, a bit of a premium for the Wii. And as you can see, it does support the balance board. So I don't know, maybe that could be a little bit fun. Anyhow, let's make our way down the line, and we have this game by Taito. Now Taito is a legendary developer and publisher, and anything that they pump out could be good. This could be good. It looks like it might be like a Mario Party type of game. And then of course we have Sonic Riders for 1,500 yen, and I believe this was released in the previous generation, which was the GameCube, PlayStation 2. Not really sure if it's any good, but of course we have to show off that Biohazard action. We have the Dark Side Chronicles, also available on the PlayStation 3. Definitely a cool light gun game. Anyhow, let's go ahead and check out some DS games. They had quite a bit, but unfortunately they had quite a bit of titles that I don't want to necessarily say that it's shovelware, but it's a lot of titles that I'm not really super familiar with, but some of them are interesting, especially with the people behind them, and we'll definitely take a closer look at what I mean. Anyhow, this one is kind of cool looking. We have Shiren the Wanderer, the DS version, and it's always cool to see like the 2D games on the DS, because you know the DS definitely had some power. And I'm definitely a huge fan of 2D games, and that one looks pretty cool. And then we have this Love Plus, this love dating sim type game. Not really into these games, but you know, it might be fun to try one of these sometime later on down the road, although the language barrier could be something that puts off some players. And then of course we have Tetris DS with the Mario theme here. I actually have this game, but unfortunately it's one that's fell on the wayside with my backlog. But one day I'll get around to it. And then we have like a football manager game there for 500 yen. And then down below, I have no idea what this is, but it could be some kind of puzzle type game. As well as this, I have no idea what this is, but I believe that's kind of a popular character there. And then we have Bleach for 500 yen. Not really familiar with that anime, but we have this baseball game by Namco. Forget the name of this, but I believe this started life on the PlayStation, possibly earlier, but definitely cool to see that it's made it up to at least 2007. And then we have Ultimate Shovelware here with Dream Skincare. Oh my goodness, this one definitely caught me by surprise, and definitely funny to see this one. Anyhow, we have Star Fox Command for 500 yen, and you know what? I was gonna pick this game up, but I totally forgot. I got so excited with a few other purchases, which we'll see in part 2, that I completely forgot to pick this game up, which is a bit of a bummer. But we have this yoga game produced by none other than Akira Yamaoka of Silent Hill fame. Kind of funny to see that he produced this, but who knows, it might have some pretty cool, a pretty cool soundtrack. Anyhow, we're going to take a look at the bottom shelf here. We got a few Mario Kart Wiis and just the various limited edition games. But anyhow, that's going to do it for this episode. So let's take a preview into the next episode. And in part 2, we're going to look at the retro display case, PSP games, PlayStation 1 games, the junk section, and a whole lot more. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Anyhow, if you've made it this far, thank you for checking out Retro ReWire. My name is JJ, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Ciao.